Hey there, my friends. Happy Tuesday. It's Jen Pittabach with By the Shore Stamping, and I'm here with you for another edition of Teach Me Tuesday. I am going to show you first our October virtual card class kit, which I did earlier today on my Facebook page, By the Shore Stamping, so you can go check that out. And if you order using the host code between now and Friday, October 29th, using that code, you can get my free card kits in the mail. So you'll get all the supplies, pre-cut supplies for these projects, which were the ones I did in my card class earlier today, my virtual card class. And if you order $50 or more, you also get the pearls, which I used on all the cards too. So I'm going to do another card featuring the same projects or products, but a new technique for you. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. But I did want to show you these cards. So these are the card kits you'd get if you place an order between now and Friday using the host code. These will be shipped to you next week because I have to order the pearls for those of you that order $50 or more. And then once those are in, I ship and cut. I would cut and prep and then ship all of the kits at once. So let's go ahead and do another project featuring the same products. So I'm using the Gorgeous Leaves bundle. So this is the bundle. It has the pretty leaf stamp set and then the coordinating dies, and you do get a 10% discount when you order those together. And then I'm pairing it with the Inspired Thoughts stamp set. This is a great sentiment stamp set. It's got so many different holidays and occasions. So we've got hello, we've got Christmas, we've got thank you, congratulations, get well, sympathy, which is always much needed, birthday. So it's got a little of everything. So that's a great stamp set to add to your collection too if you need one. All right, so I'm starting with a 5.5 by 8.5 inch piece of thick Whisker White. This is going to be my card base. So I'm going to go ahead and score this at 4 1/4. Okay, that's my card base. Now, what we're going to do with this is we're actually going to use our die cuts. So I'm using these open die cuts as stencils. So this is going to create a really fun look on your card. We're using blending brushes again. And I'm sorry if I keep trying to hide it, but I have ink under my nail from my card class earlier today, and I just haven't had a chance to get it all out. So I apologize for that. It's not because I haven't washed my hands in a week. It's just because I was playing with ink and paper. What else is new? So I've put some, this is, what is it called? Removable adhesive. So I've put some removable adhesive on the backs of my die cuts, and now I'm just going to go ahead and lay these, and it doesn't matter what color you die cut these in because we're just going to use them as stencils. So I'm going to put these down on my, whoops, let's do it this way, on my page, and we're going to make some fun stencils with them. Okay, so let's put this one down here. And again, it doesn't matter what colors these are. This is looking really weird because they're all kind of off to the sides. So let's add this one down here. Actually, I'm going to put it like this, and I'm going to move this like that. And then we can put this one over here, maybe like that, and we'll move this one down a little bit. Like that. All right, that looks good, I think. I think I had one more. Yeah, I did have one more. This one I kind of chopped the edge, so I don't want that there. But I'm wondering. You know what? I'm going to leave well enough alone. So you want to make sure these are kind of well stuck, but not permanently stuck, right? So we're going to now take the inks. So I'm going to use Crushed Curry and Pool Party. I'm going to use Pool Party first, and I'm going to use my blending brushes. So we used these last week too. I am totally addicted to them right now. So we're going to ink up the blue, blot that off. This one is not super dark, so you don't have to worry about too much of it being like too dark. Usually I like to blot first, but this one is pretty light, so you can go right to the paper. And I'm going to do all over color with the blue. You want to just make sure your little templates stay put. So I tend to put my fingers on them as I'm rubbing over them, just so they don't go awry. See how they're moving a little bit? That's okay. That'll be totally fine. So I'm going to just go ahead and do this. And again, you're probably going to get a little bit inky. That's what's happening to me right now, but my hands are full of ink already from earlier today, so I'm not worried. That looked a little light, so I went back and kind of went in there. This is a very light color, so you'll see that I'm going over it quite a bit, but it'll be surprising how actually dark this is once we take it off. It doesn't look dark right now, especially considering these darker die cuts, but it's amazing how much color is actually being dropped onto the page, and you won't really see it until you see that stark white next to it. All right, so we're just filling in that color. Okay, this is like, it makes me feel like an artist. I love playing with these blending brushes. I feel so professional. Okay, I'll add a little bit more right there. Okay. And then I want to create kind of like a little bit of a halo effect around the edges. When I did this original time, the yellow was a little darker than I wanted, so I'm going to really blot this off. So I'm using crushed curry, and actually I'm not even going to add any more ink right now. I'm going to use what's on here, and I'm just going to go right along the edges here. And we'll just add a little bit of yellow. I don't want it to be super bright. That's why I'm not re-inking it. Just want kind of like a little halo effect. And what I love about this technique too is each time you do it, it looks different because you can't recreate it each time exactly the same. So, and now the ink on this blending brush is getting a little bit lighter, so I'm going over this a little bit longer. Okay, whoops. Look at that stark contrast, right? And it didn't look like there was that much of a difference. Now I'm just going to kind of come in a little bit with it. I almost want to kind of do like an oval shape. Whoops, you're just going to be careful. There we go. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that like that. And now it's the big reveal, okay? So now we're just going to take these off, because remember, this is repositionable, so I can just pull this off. I don't use, oops, what did I get my hand in? Oh, goodness. Well, that's a bummer. Let me see if I can lighten that a little bit with my, see you guys, I put my hand right in some ink and that just transferred, but maybe I can edit the card a little bit too. It's kind of a weird leaf shape now, but it's okay. It's really just for you guys to get the idea of how to do this. So it's important to use repositionable, because as you can see, I can just wipe that adhesive off so it's not on my card and causing trouble. So this is coming off, but it's kind of ruining the ink shape or the leaf shape, but I might be able to fix it. So I'm going to keep digging at this with my Tombow sand eraser. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this back. Okay, and we'll just add a little bit more color to kind of fill that in. It's not going to be a perfect fix, but at least it will cover it a little bit. Okay, and then I'll, well, I don't really need to add any more yellow. I'll just kind of cover it with yellow a little bit. Okay, there we go. Not a perfect fix, but it's good. Okay, so there we have our little templated piece. Fun, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take some twine. We're going to wrap that around. I could put this lower, maybe, but then the circle I think would be too low. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to go ahead. It's too bad it wasn't on this leaf because I could totally cover that. Anyway, they're handmade, right? That's what makes them special. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this in a knot first. I like to tie knots first because it gives me a little bit more stability. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow. Whoops, I just totally slid. Okay. And we'll do that. Okay. Like so. Okay. Now I'm going to actually attach this to the card front with my permanent adhesive. So I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus because I like the Plus better. Attach that in the center. Okay. Like so. And then I already die cut or punched a 2 1/4 inch piece of old olive, and then I have my 2-inch circle punch and a piece of the cork specialty paper, which I love, and I'm going to layer those together with some adhesive. So we'll put those down like that, and then I'm going to attach this to the card with some dimensional, so it will go over the twine. Okay. Whoops. Like this. It is covering it a little bit. It's not quite so obvious. So there's that. Now I just wanted to die cut one of the detailed leaves from the dies. So I'm going to use this one, which is a detail die. I'm going to grab my little mini Stampin' Cut Emboss. I love this thing so much. And I'm going to grab a piece of Pool Party cardstock. We'll stick that down. Put my plate on top so the cutting edge is towards the paper, and now I'm just going to roll this through. Anybody else with me whenever I say roll? I always want to say roll that beautiful bean footage. You guys all watch the bean commercials with the little golden retriever? That's what always comes to my head when I say that. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Alright, so now I'm going to pull this out, and I'll use my take your pick tool, just pop these babies out. You could also use your die brush roller, but I have this handy, so we'll use this. Some of this would probably just come out with me rubbing on it too, because it's usually a pretty good die cut, so that it just pops right out. Sometimes the detail ones can be a little bit more ornery, but this one seems to work pretty well. Okay, so almost there. I was going to die cut this first, so it was already done, but I thought sometimes it's nice to show you the process, right? So you guys can see what all those little tools and machines do that are in the back of our catalog. All of this stuff that I use is actually from Stampin' Up. So if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, they have some of the best crafting products available. At least I think so. And I am always happy to share my favorites. Alright, so that is all of the little bits that are out. Okay. Oops, I missed one. Here we go. I think that's all of them. Yep. So now I'm going to pull my card back in. I'm going to take a mini glue dot, and I'm just going to stick that right down in the center of the bottom part of this leaf and pull that off so that the glue dot comes off on the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick that down like that. Okay, now I'm going to stamp a sentiment. So I'm using the Thanks So Much sentiment from the Gorgeous, or I'm sorry, from the Inspired Thoughts, which is this one. That's the one I'm pairing the Gorgeous Leaves stamp set with. I know that my stamp is a little bit off, so I'm gonna position it straight and then slightly turn it on a slant, because that was too much slant. I've found that mine is not quite straight on the stamp. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna trim this down a little bit closer, and I'm gonna do some banner ends. So we'll do that, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and cut banner ends in this. You could use your banner punch if you wanted to, but I didn't really leave a whole lot of room for that. So I'm gonna cut that and that. Whoops. Cut a little more off there. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just gonna use my regular adhesive in the middle, and we will layer that right here. Can always use thank you cards, so I will kind of do a little bit of adhesive right there to help that stay put. There we go. And then our last step is just add some pearls. So I'm going to take the other end of my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to grab a couple of these, and we'll put those on our card, and there you have it, the finished version. Super cute. I love using my dies as stencils, and of course I used this with leaves, but you could use any sort of shape. You could use punches. It doesn't have to be a die, it could be a punch, and then you can just line those up, tape them down with a removable adhesive, then add your color. You could use sponge daubers, sponges, blender pens, whatever you have, and then you can make that really fun background. And then just again to show you quickly, so if you would like to earn free card kits this week, you can go ahead and use this host code at checkout. I will send you these 3 card kits. If your order is $50 or more, you'll also get the pearls in your package. So it's just a fun little way that I love to support my community with a free class each month, and you can catch the replay of that class on my Facebook page at By the Shore Stamping. All right, thanks so much for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.